looking like Janet Jackson, Rhythm Nation.
When music by your side to cover that busted hairline.
Cover that
We're work
busted hairline.
together. Rhythm.
You
Five,
okay?
four, three,
Three,
two,
two,
one.
one.
We're
Live.
on.
TK, why your screen cloudy? Can you wipe it off?
Yeah. Is there a way you could just kind of do this?
That is my new laptop that I'm on because the other one was having a lot of trouble
There's a smudge
with.
on the camera. That's probably what it
But it
is.
wasn't cloudy last week.
It's got to be
Okay,
a
I
smudge
could
on the
try.
camera.
But wait,
Oh wait, hold
I gotta
on.
take
Wait.
myself out. If not,
Okay,
y'all gonna
hold
see me.
on.
No, you
Girl,
don't.
just rub the
You
thing. Nobody.
Woo! Is that better?
I can't tell because we got Shauna
Oh,
picture up.
oh, what happened here?
Uh
Oh,
oh.
I can tell.
It is
It
better.
is.
Yeah, it is better. That is
See,
better. You're clear.
welcome back to everybody to another episode of Talk Miami. I am back. Your girl Syndee Winters is in the building. I have missed y'all so much. It is my night to host. Pray for me. I hope this goes really well. And I'm going to send it off to the lady to my side. Bam. Dr. Shonda Roberts, introduce yourself to the friends.
Good
Hey, to
evening,
myself.
everyone. How are you? Happy Monday. Glad to be back. Had a very busy weekend. We'll get into that later. I am the Dr. Shonda Roberts, entrepreneur, advocate, mother, wife, everything above and under and beneath. I'm going to pass it down.
She better be
Depends on the
everywhere.
day. Depends on the day.
Above,
What you get, what you get. Pass it
above.
down to the lady with the side braids over there.
Hi, everybody. Long time no see, everybody. I was just with you guys this weekend and talk to you all the time, Cindy. But hi, everybody. I am TK Owens for new listeners. Mother, wife, entrepreneur, author. I don't even know. I'm just going to keep on saying it. And co host of this talk show. All right. We're going to turn it over to the only guy in the room, Ryan, the Ryan David.
The virtual room. Yep. D. Ryan David, welcome back, everybody. Glad to be back. Professor AB, holistic lifestyle coach, personal leadership coach, psychology professor. Welcome back, Cindy.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Cat owner. I
Y'all,
forgot. Cat owner. She's stuck in here, so she might make some
come on,
noise.
cat owner.
Aw.
Come on, cat owner. Um, so this time the reason why I was away is because I've been working with the Orange County School of the Arts. At TK, I got back on my teaching.
Yay, I love it. I'm here
Get a
for it.
round of applause for you. Hold on, give me a
Thank
second here.
you.
You got
Was
you.
it
Hold
more
on.
like musical theater? What type of dance?
It was definitely musical theater. It was also I haven't spent that much time with a school or a students since I left Miami, since I
Oh,
worked at JKA with you at your studio. So it was really nice to kind of get back into that space with all the experience that I've had over the last 18 years. Oh my God, what?
yeah.
So I spent 5 weeks in a program called Performing with the Pros, and these theater students are a part of the Musical Theater Conservatory, and so their main focus is musical theater. Um, but in my program, what they get to do is just to perform with a working professional. So you already know I had to bring my flavor. I didn't want to do
That's
nothing
right.
musical theater. Um, so I did. TK. We maybe people don't know this about TK's past, but TK is a renowned choreographer,
Oh, thank
and
you.
she was best known for like her mashups and her mixes, which I would sit there and she would say, "Sid, I want this," and I would go into my computer and like make these mixes, and we
Yeah.
would really have a good time with all that stuff. And so I got to tap back into that, and I made a middle school medley of the music that I went to, that was around when I was in middle school. So you had everything from Britney Spears to Christina Aguilera to a boy band medley, and I had
Oh.
one black girl, and she
Mm-hmm.
was a dancer, and she tapped. Her name was Ashley Arnold. And Ashley was so nervous because she had never been chosen in the musical theater department to ever sing. So I thought this would be a really great opportunity to have her sing. And y'all, eh, she was able to bring her full self. And one of the great things about what JKA brought to the table was the be yourself, bring yourself to the the forefront. And with these kids, I got to see them really develop over the 5 weeks and bring themselves to the stage and ready for the next step in their lives. So that was really rewarding. Thank you for
Yeah.
coming to my TED Talk. A lot of inspiration and goodness, and I have hope for entertainers in the next generation because these kids exist.
That's
I
right.
was gonna maybe I'll pull up the video a little bit later. How are y'all doing? How was your week? I did listen.
Woo!
I've been listening to our episodes.
Busy.
And you must have heard that you missed out on some real interesting relationship situations.
I think
Mhm.
she listened. Did you tune in on that episode?
I think she heard a little bit of them.
The one with part two.
Yes.
Or two.
Oh
Cha,
yeah. Oh wow.
Child.
It
That
got
got a
real.
little hot.
I actually
It
got the
got real,
inside
real.
scoop. I got the inside scoop on some things that went down on that episode this weekend. I didn't know
Really?
that there was some people on
Uh-oh.
there's some people on that podcast that knew each other low key, and I didn't know. And I mean knew each
Oh,
other.
I
I mean they knew
know.
each
Oh,
other.
I
you
know who
found
told
out.
you.
Yeah, it was kind of
Wait,
sus right
what?
there. I felt bad. Yeah, it was a lot going on, man. A little gotcha, but it made for interesting
I
conversation.
thought you knew, Ryan. You found out.
No,
Nah,
I didn't
man.
share because I wanted it to, you know,
Yeah.
As long as they were
Be
cool with it. I
organic.
they were
mean,
cool with it, so I
yeah.
left it
Well,
alone.
when you say knew each other, what do you mean?
I mean, more than knew each other. No,
They used to
nah,
date.
dated.
Well,
Nah,
not
they
that serious.
dated. I mean,
Used to date.
yeah. I mean, even if it was just one, that ain't
Or
got to be anything
dated.
serious. But
They
yeah, it was
did.
just interesting. I don't know. But that was a
You could
very
be.
popular episode. Obviously, it's a popular topic, but that episode there, from the
Let me
numbers
sip.
on live and
Yeah.
afterwards, that episode, the more people you get in a conversation, the more people you're going to draw into it too. But alone the topic itself is so yeah, it was juicy.
I had to
Juicy
drink to that.
indeed. Juicy
What do you got for us
indeed.
tonight, Cindy?
Today's topics are going to be sort of on the surface, but important. And on the topic of relationships. So topic number 1, I'm going to give you the topics first so we can sort of dive right in. Um, the first topic is, are you the same person when you're in a relationship versus when you're single? And I would like to know, around the room, how we all sort of create those little versions of ourselves when we're single, and what types of habits we have versus what we sacrifice in when we're in relationships. Um, this has been an interesting topic because as I'm going through it in my own life, I'm in a relationship, and I notice, we're a few years into it now, and the good news is I'm not going anywhere, which is nice.
But praise be the
That's
Lord.
a surprise. And that for me, historically, I get to a certain point and I go, oh, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. But
It hasn't
I
happened yet.
found hasn't happened yet. And I found somebody that I really enjoy their time and enjoy their company. And sort of I can see where I'm being pushed and challenged to grow in certain areas. And that person acknowledges where they are being pushed and influenced to grow as well. So, but there are
Sounds
things that I have sacrificed in learning that I connected and inspired by something you said last week, Ryan, about boundaries, being an overserver.
Hmm.
When you're in
a helper or
service,
a giver, a helper.
Both.
Okay, because those were the two
Over
different ones.
helper, over giver.
Those are the two different
And
ones, though. You're probably one or the other, not both.
so I'm a both, because women,
I'm a both.
Well,
yeah,
innately, you absolutely, yes, I agree. As a woman, if we want to stereotype and generalize, which I think it's safe to say, generally speaking, I would say, Syndee, you're absolutely right. At the core, you are a giver as a woman. It's just in your nature, because your biology is designed to give, because you have to your infant.
life.
But I think you're also probably saying that on top of that, you're a helper, because you can do for others and you can help others. That's the other side of
Right.
it. And those
Right.
are, you got to draw boundaries there, because you'll exhaust yourself.
Well, totally. And as my schedule and my life is moving in all over the place, and I have a connection, that a joint connection with my partner, I still have to find places where I can
Be
make
you.
time for myself.
Yeah.
And be me. And I mean, there's a hilarious situation, and I'll share it because he'll probably watch this later, and maybe he'll understand what happened there.
We gotta bring him
But
back.
yeah, we might have to bring him back.
Yeah.
But it was his. I don't want to say it was his turn to do laundry, because that's kind of not a thing. Like, if the laundry gets done, great. But I do find myself, when it's time to do laundry, I do all of the laundry, and I see it to the end. Fold it, put it away.
Mm.
And this particular time, I said to myself, I was like, I think I am going to create space for something else to occur.
I'm going to let him fold it.
I'm going to create space for something else to occur.
In other words.
You know what I mean?
Boundaries real quick.
So a week later, I found myself living among clean and not so clean clothes. And I thought, oh, so I guess it didn't happen. Okay. So
there was no communication either. It was just kind of, let me see what naturally occurs.
Oh, I'm a communicator. I'm pretty clear on communicating, but I also am not going to force, and I'm not going to push. I'm not going to nag.
What did you say?
I didn't say anything. I just let it be there.
That's what I mean.
So you didn't say, hey,
why would I say
this, and you.
That's what I'm saying. Syndee, you wanted to see if it would happen organically. You just did something different and wanted to see what would naturally happen organically.
Yeah, that's what because what happens organically for me is that as soon as I get the clothes, it comes back in the house, and maybe a day or two go by if I'm just swamped or exhausted. But I'll like set the timer, and I'm like 45 minutes. Let's get this done.
Start to finish. This time you said,
yeah.
Can I comment for a second? So I'm gonna pretend I'm being. Well, since you always fold the clothes up, but maybe you just didn't get to it. So maybe you'll get to it when you get to it. But until you say, hey, babe, I did this part of the laundry, can you do the second part? They're going to sit there. I'm not going to read your mind, nor do I think I should. If you want me to do something I don't typically do, you better say something.
I appreciate your advocacy for a brother. I do. I really do.
What'd you say, Ryan? I didn't hear you.
I said, look at Charlotte with a master's degree in communication and relationships.
Yes, I appreciate your advocacy for a brother, but
because I do George like that. That's why I'm on Ben's side, because I've done that to George. I'm assuming he's gonna do it. He's not. If I don't say, honey, can you please do A, B, and C? He's gonna look at me like, well, she'll do it when she get ready.
Y'all married for X amount of years. This is Syndee's first experiment.
Yeah.
This is the first time ever experiment of going away from her organic process. So it was a little experiment, sounds like, right?
Well, yeah, and I had to create the space for that. And also, what included that space was organically, when would this occur for him?
Right. So it's not a test. It's just trying to investigate and see what I'm involved in. I know what she's doing. I know what she's doing. I get it.
And that's why
it's not a game. It's not a game. It's
or a test. Did you get your answer? Do you know now what you might need to communicate if you don't want that same way to play out?
I just got to. I just know that if I want it done at this time, I will have to do it.
Mm-hmm. Or communicate. Expectation.
But communication doesn't quite move the needle forward.
Really?
Because if you've said it once, you've mentioned it again, and you mentioned it the third time, it starts to.
Oh no! Okay, I see what you're saying now.
It starts to kind of go.
You had already. I thought you did
toward the filing system.
But you did.
It might go into the filing system.
Okay.
You got two highly creative intellectual, highly open people on a trait perspective and in personality. I guarantee you, both of you all have some very similarities that make that absolute thing right there occur. And you may be a little higher in conscientiousness than him. So that's why you have this awareness of that organic process where he was just like, it'll get done. It'll get done.
Yeah. And none of us are dying. Like there's no emergency.
No, but you want to know what you're involved in. You want to know what the
I
situation is.
just want to know organically, how would that occur for you?
That's funny.
And if I intervene, then I interrupt the organic process.
Well, I want to know, did the clothes get folded up?
Yeah, I did. I folded them shits. I folded them during COVID. When I
She
caught
had to do
COVID
it. She had to do it.
and he went to work, I was like, you know what? I'm not doing anything. Let me just, and then reorganize and put all that up.
I
And
can tell you, Mr. Roberts ain't folding up no clothes. He'll
Listen.
wash them and he'll put them in the dryer, and that's only if because he needs something. But the last time I saw my husband fold up clothes, and I hope I ain't lying on this man, but the last I can remember is when Gigi was about 3. Y'all know she's 20 now, or 19, 1, 2. And only because I was in the hospital for 21 days and he had to do laundry.
Yeah, last
But
time he
he
did laundry was
got-
about the last time you cooked, huh, Sean? That's how that works.
Oh no, sir. Because listen, let me psych your berry
at least.
because I made some chicken wings last week
Just
in
like
the air
Bust your
fryer.
berry.
Let me psych your berry because I did some chicken wings last week,
Oh
honey, and they
my
were good and
God.
crispy. Because
Okay.
my sister Sarah Nicole Santana bought me an air fryer, and that is my new best friend.
Oh,
Watch out now,
bestie.
George. You got some competition in the kitchen.
Bestie. But yeah, but there are the things that Ben does. He will cook.
Shout out
Yeah.
Ben, man. Shout out to Ben, man.
Yeah,
We're picking
yeah.
on Ben. We gotta have Ben
No,
on the
he's
show.
working
man.
right now.
Ben.
He works hard. But I just wanted to see if that particular thing occurs naturally and where that
Mm-mm.
was. And I
Mm-mm.
think that that's okay because then,
Mm-mm.
you know, they're adults.
Right.
Like Ryan, you're an adult man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever
I've been a bachelor for a long time, so I got the habit. Now I was gonna say some of my habits, and he's also you've been with Ben for some time, and the laundry thing you just described, the pattern that you were involved in organically that you just took care of, and then it kind of swapped and whatever when he did it. That was kind of an unspoken pattern of behavior that's happened for quite some time now, right?
Well, no.
Is he used to what you do with the laundry at this point? Could you say?
Yes,
No.
I could tell.
No.
Cindy,
No?
you said you was washing clothes and
Well,
fold-
this particular time,
okay.
he's an independent person. So if he sees that he needs something, he will get the stuff and he will wash it. And he'll, but he'll only pick the stuff that he needs. And
Oh,
I
then
feel like there's more to the story. I feel like we need Ben's side
we
of this.
need Ben's side.
you
of
might
the
need
story.
Ben's side of the
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
My
we need Ben.
my takeaway from it is that
Cindy's a host, so
he was more so by need to know basis.
okay.
Like whatever is necessary. Like I wash these clothes. Do I need to fold them right now? No, but I do need these clothes to put in this suitcase to do the next thing. So this is not urgent.
Priorities.
Yeah, he would prioritize, and it's not high on his priority list.
Yep.
But for me, that would
If you're
be
gonna do the laundry, complete the task all the way through.
right.
Even
That's
if you don't
just
need them, fold them and put them away.
correct, because then I
That's-
don't have to step over or decide or whatever later, and then the feeling of anxiety of this insurmountable mountain of clothes doesn't come upon me when I need something.
That's a Cindy thing, though, right?
Yeah, and that's a
Because your
Cindy thing.
urgency is not his urgency.
Exactly.
You wanted to
But
find
you
out
have to-
that
you have to-
organically, and you need to know that range. Yeah, I get it.
So we don't get into a thing.
Know it now.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay,
Especially
great.
about laundry. It ain't worth it, honey. It
It
ain't
ain't
Oh,
worth
yeah.
it.
It's not a fight.
It
It's
ain't
not a
worth
fight. I'm sharing it with y'all, but like, it's not a thing that I
It's not a
decided
deal
that's a
breaker.
priority of a tiff. No,
I'm
not at
thinking
all.
You got me thinking, Cindy. I'm thinking ahead. Like I've lived alone for 20 years, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I've dated long-term relationships years at a time, but I've never lived with someone. I haven't yet. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Hey,
You saw he looked twice.
On
and
standby.
said,
Okay.
So I've done my own laundry, like not unconsciously. Like that's not even a thought because I live with a cat and she hasn't learned to do laundry yet. So my shit's not gonna get
Thumbs.
washed.
right.
So
You don't want holes in your drawers.
So you start, I'm thinking ahead now. Say someone lives with me. Does that change? Or do I just do laundry when my laundry's ready to get done? I got my hamper.
How
and
do you have that
she has-
conversation?
She has her hamper. that's what I'm wondering, if it even comes up to that, or if it comes to when she's ready to do her laundry out of her hamper, she does a load, and when I need to do mine, so it's like separate loads. Or hey, I'm going to do a load. You want to throw something into mine? How? That's how. How's that going to work? That's how it'll work, right? Does it change? Why
I
does it
think
change?
I think that will happen organically, and I believe if I don't want to
Only
say,
because I already have the habit of doing my own laundry, and it's almost instilled. Whereas
but
Ben, maybe it wasn't so concrete at a certain
No,
but
I
point.
I
mean,
feel
he's been
as the
single his
woman
whole
of the
life.
house, she may just do it.
Yeah.
Because
Say it
she's
again.
used to doing her own laundry, she may just do yours and hers, and you won't have your hamper and her hamper. It'll soon become
Who are you talking
y'all
to, Shonda?
hamper.
Me? You talking
You,
about my
Yes,
yes,
situation?
this is for you,
yes.
Ryan.
So as the woman, she's gonna just do your laundry
I
because
don't think
that's what we
so.
do.
I don't want
Yeah, I
nobody
think
doing my
so.
laundry.
Yeah, but I think
Well,
so.
then,
And I
you need
think
to voice that.
from my partner's
If that's a
standpoint,
problem for you,
he's
say
with
that.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I don't think it's a
He's
problem.
on
You're
your
right,
side.
Shonda. I guess you're right. If she's gonna go do laundry for herself, she'll ask, "Hey, you want me to do what you have over there?"
Always. It's like
Right,
I'm cooking some food. I'm gonna cook some for myself and not cook for you.
That's
right.
how laundry is too, because she's food is
Yes.
locked
Yeah,
down.
because
Yes.
if you're that territorial about your dirty drawers, then you
It's
may
not
not want to
yeah,
cook you nothing.
it's not territorial in a like a controlling sense, like a territorial, like I don't want you involved. It's more so just I'm used to the habit and the routine of I know what's in my hamper, what's dirty, and I'll know when I need it again, and so I'll wash it all of it together. Does that sound familiar, Cindy?
Yeah.
No.
But if
Yes.
so, she may
And
be
that is
like, she
that
may feel like you don't want her to wash your clothes because she may do it wrong, or you know what I mean. Like,
Nah,
don't
she's
do her like that because
no,
that's
no,
my
no.
friend now.
Laundry's laundry. It
Let her
ain't that
wash your
complex.
clothes.
We'll have one conversation. But Cindy, you you think that what I just said would affect or impact her? Are we even into topic one, by the way?
oh yeah, we are.
Okay.
Yes,
Do you think that what I
this
just
gonna
said?
be topic one if it
This
ain't.
is topic one.
Do you
What do
think
you
that
do
what
by yourself versus when you're in a relationship?
do you think
Right.
that what I just said would affect her getting her laundry done? The
No,
thing that you
I
No.
don't.
No, but it's more so of an unspoken courtesy. What we've seen in our households is that the woman, mother, or head of household grabs all the laundry and does it, or makes her kids do it, because that's what my mom did. We did the laundry. So if I'm going to the laundromat, just like I said, like if I'm cooking, I wouldn't be like, I'm about to cook something. Do you want?
right.
I'm like, I cooked and I made enough for 2 people.
Hey,
Same
listen.
thing with laundry. I'm going to the laundromat. It takes me an hour to do if I can do all the washers, because I go to laundromat, I do all the washers and all the dryers. It saves you time because you're in and out like I am.
Right.
Let's just get this so we don't have to think about having to separately do laundry, because then it becomes more chaotic, because then I'm stepping over your laundry in
Right.
in the house
But let me get
too.
$3 in quarters before I go to laundromat if I'm gonna do
Oh
your
yeah,
laundry
you
too.
best believe. I'm like, can I this 20 that was sitting on the counter, can I use this for laundry? Okay,
Put
thank you.
put that question back up, TK. It's so funny what you're saying, Cindy. Put that question back up, please.
Which question?
There was
Oh,
a question up there to me in the
Oh,
comments.
which one?
Not that one.
Here, Ryan, would you let?
She
Yeah.
said, Sarah said, Ryan, will you let her do your laundry? Can we just for a moment and pause and think about how crazy it is to ask a man this question in general? Like, generally speaking, how many men would you have to ask? Like, and this is not a criticism of the question. It's just hilarious that it's me, obviously, and it is a fair question based on everything that I've just said so far. But how many men would you even have to ask if you could do their laundry? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Some men will
usually
be
you're saying,
okay. So
pleased,
you
be
are
happy.
you are a very small percentage of men who are independent.
that's what I think I'm getting at here. Is
You've
what
been
I'm.
you've
I
been
think
single for so
that's I
long.
think what I'm getting at. So it's just a funny question to see because it's like if you ask it like that, somebody want to do me a favor. Hell yeah, go ahead, go ahead, do my laundry. Like I'm
Thank
fine
you
with
so
it.
much.
That's great. But it won't be like it won't be. You already know what I'm saying. It's not going to be an expectation. It's not going to be something that I'm used to. I take for
Right.
granted. I just assume will happen. It'll be the opposite of that. It'll be I'll do my laundry until someone grabs it and takes it from me and says, "Hey, I'll do it instead." It'll just be
Right.
that. Yeah.
And I think my partner is definitely on your side of the fence. He's like, I would never ask you to do my laundry. So he's sort of defensive about it. Like, nah, I'll do it. I'm like, maybe this is a miscommunication, but I'm already doing it. Just explain to me what you want. Is this cold wash? Is this whatever? And then it'll get done. I'm
Maybe.
not your maid. Trust and believe. You already know this. It's just that we share space, and I would do it. You know, it's fine.
I have no idea if this is the case. I don't know Ben, and I don't know a lot about the situation you're describing, except for what you just said. But it could be two individuals in the scenario you just painted that he does not want to that he would prefer to do his own laundry, but he doesn't want you to feel rejected by telling you not to do his and let him do his own. So he's caught in between and not verbalizing, hey, listen, just leave it alone. I'll do my own. You do yours. Maybe he's not that
Could be a
confrontational or
case too.
assertive. So he's caught in that between area, though. I'm just hearing maybe that's the case. He loves you and appreciates that you want to do that. But at the end of the day,
Big ain't wash.
That could be the case too.
Gotta have it on. Ben gotta be here.
We gotta get him onto state his perspective.
I'm hosting next week, right? Let's see if he's free. He's available next Monday.
All I hear, baby ain't wash.
But there are certain things. So that's something that I sort of inherently do when I'm in a relationship. I don't separate our laundry, and I don't necessarily think about yours and mine in that way.
Okay.
Because it's all, we're all sharing a household. Also, I don't always think about taking care of myself when I'm in a relationship.
What you mean take care of yourself?
Because I'm thinking about how I take care of that person. So I don't pay attention to myself as much. Like when you're single and, you're a single person and you've been taking care of yourself, your regimen. You wake up, you do your workout, you have a smoothie, you're out the door, you become predictable with your own schedule. And even as an artist, when I get into a relationship, some of those things get sacrificed. Like, oh, I may not walk today because I want to have a coffee or have time with him and all of that. Now that we're in a longer term, I'm like, no, I think I'm going to go work out. I think I'm going to get up at 6. I think I'm going to
have more time to do the other things that you didn't know if you were going to have them because you lived
right. Because then it kind of creates more of an anxiety because I haven't gotten certain things done.
You need to go fold them clothes. I think I heard the dryer, so we'll let you go. Just
I did hear a dryer.
That was my dryer. Every time I'm on this
show,
somebody got to dry clothes.
Perfectly timed.
I had to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I had to say that.
So, So what are TK and Shonda, y'all have been married, and what are some of the things that you noticed that you sacrificed for yourself that maybe you implemented back into your life after that, like, sort of honeymoon period?
Shonda, you want to go first?
Because I don't know.
Real quick, while y'all decide
some time to think about it.
I'll go.
While y'all decide who's going to go first, just to recap, Syndee, what you're asking Syndee is essentially, because I cut you off, and I'm sorry I had the dryer cut you off. Actually, I just pointed it out. What you're saying is initially when you get into a relationship, you have your own routine, and then sometimes to spend time with this person because you don't know really, because you want to, first of all. Second of all, because it's probably less frequent as it's going to be later on down the road. Right. You sacrifice or put aside things that you normally would do on your own for yourself because now you have someone else you want to share them with. But then if you stay in the relationship with that person longer term, you get back into your own groove because things are more consistent and more frequent with this person. Your question is to all of us and to them too here, what was something that you found that you gave up when you got into the relationship that you got back into as you got serious? And okay.
Right. And maybe what is one thing that you're like, oh, I never got back to that. Yeah. TK, because you got to give Shonda a minute.
That's okay. I can just tell you what it was like for me. Ryan Farrell is pretty much, when I came into his life, he was like you. He's been single, never been married before. He was my George Clooney. And so he's never had any woman live with him. Yes, he dated, trust me, plenty, but never to the point that he had to make space for a wife moving into his home. So we're talking about a man who took care of all of his house responsibilities. He does everything. And for I guess I won't say, because I don't get into gender, who should be doing what versus, male or female, washing dishes or cooking, things of that nature. But he already knew that he didn't have time to clean up. So before I even came into his life, he had a maid. So when the maid was already in the house taking care of cleaning for him and doing the laundry for him and his son at the time, here I go. I came into the house, but as a woman, I felt like I was the woman of the house, and I was like, okay, she has to go. Her name was Carmen. And he literally was like, okay, Carmen has been a part of my life for, over 12 years cleaning this house. And here I am letting you come in and you wanted. I felt like I needed to feel wanted. And as
Contribute.
a woman, because
I
my
need Carmen.
mom,
Yeah, where's she at?
I know, right? I got you though.
Can
Give me her
Carmen
number.
come to
Slide me
LA?
her, like
Can
a
she
slide
be
of her DM
bi-coastal?
today, baby.
I'll make sure. I'll make sure I pass the
Send me Carmen
information
number.
to
Let
everybody.
me holler
Carmen
at
number.
Carmen.
Carmen bi-coastal Carmen? Good.
Right.
Exactly. Because Cindy, you know this about my mom. My mom is very catering. She takes care of the whole neighborhood. Every Sunday I went to my mom's house. She cooked for her family. She took care of us. And so I
Every
wanted to
Sunday.
do the same for him. I wanted to cook and clean and do all of those things. And so at first we got rid of Carmen. Then after a while, I was like, this is too much. And then we hired a housekeeper.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Trying
Is
to
it
be
something
Molly the
about
man. You
Carmen? Why
better
you
get
didn't call
together.
Carmen back? Was it
Exactly.
personal?
Right.
As a matter of fact, we called Carmen back and she just,
Nah,
I
hell
guess
no.
she got in her feelings that we let her go.
Oh
And so we had to get a new housekeeper. Elsa is now a part of our family. We
Let
love
it
her.
go. Let
Yeah.
it go.
And so Elsa has been with us now for 4 years. She
Carmen
knows
said you
our
tried it.
family. She even comes into our home without us because we trust her. And I'm okay with allowing the fact that I can't be everything for this man.
right.
And so some of the things that I did have to sacrifice, Cindy, is not being that stay-at-home mom. I even tried that and wanted to get out the house during COVID and went crazy. So now that I'm back working a 9 to 5, he works 9 to 5. We're just as busy. We went ahead and brought in someone that does our laundry and keep our house clean, and it's a balance for us. One thing that I had to give up is that Ryan, I was single for 10 years and lived on my own. So here it is. I had to share my space with a man. I used to have to I was used to calling my dad for everything to fix around the house. But now I had a man who knows how to do everything from changing a light bulb to changing my car or changing my car. So it feels so good to have a man that now I had to stop calling my dad though and rely on my husband to fix in the house. But just so you know, I'm going to sum it up like this, Cindy. We did have a conversation though about expectations, who's doing what. It wasn't based on gender, but just what we loved and wanted to do. I take care of all the house, the cooking, and Elsa of course does the deep cleaning, but I keep our house together. And he takes care of the lawn. He takes care of all of our cars and anything that has to do with this house, and we've just made it work for us. Now I pass it to you, Shonda.
I've been in a relationship forever and a day. I don't know, but I was trying to think back when you were talking that when we started dating, I think we just kind of felt or moved off of each other's vibe. You know what I mean? Or I, if like for instance, if I started cleaning up, he would just and I'll turn the music on. I have to clean the music to really clean and he would just start cleaning as well. You know what I mean? Or he'll start picking up his stuff. And he'll start. We never had a conversation that said, "Well, I'm gonna do this and you're gonna do that." Of course, it was unspoken that he would cook because I don't cook or didn't cook back then.
Yeah, them
And didn't
nuggets
want
came
to cook.
along.
Right. So that didn't have to have a conversation.
Chicken wings,
Um,
right?
Listen, and I wasn't doing that then. I wasn't cooking anything. I ate out. So if I could say I changed anything, it was definitely eating out. But he would cook all the time. And then as far as fixing things, he would want to call somebody to fix stuff. I fix things. I don't know where I get that from, but I could fix our washing machine. I fixed our dryer. I fixed the
Hey.
the faucet outside because I just like Google and YouTube stuff. So our roles are kind of reversed when it comes to that. I will fix the internet, the computer, the TV. He'll call me, baby, the internet working.
Yes.
Internet not working. The TV's not working. He'll call me and I'll fix it. Where I'm at work, home, wherever, I'm fixing it.
Nice.
So that type of stuff just kind of happened because we knew what the other couldn't do. Like he knew I couldn't cook, so there was never he's gonna ever say, "Do you want to cook?" I know he can't fix the TV, so I'm never gonna say, "Well, Joy, the TV's not working." And because he couldn't, I had to Google stuff. And when I started doing that, just kind of happened as Cindy would say, organically. So there was nothing that we really had to. Well, only thing we never really talked about even bills. Like he just automatically came in because he moved into my apartment, and I had just got my apartment maybe like a month before I met me. I mean, a month before he moved in, and he just basically said, "How much is your rent?" You know, back then rent was $503 for a 2 bedroom. Child, not no,
Girl, I wish.
not no more. I remember it was
1,500.
$503 for a 2-1 gated community with a lake. I
Mm.
mean, beautiful apartment. And he just, how much is your rent? And I told him he just started paying the rent. You know what I mean? So it just kind of happened that way. And it's been like that ever since. Even as we've have children and have grown, and everything just kind of happens when whoever gets paid pays the bills, pays the bill that's due that week. If I get paid next week, a lot of bills do I'm paying. If he gets paid, the water bill, it ain't whoever gets paid that week pays the bills. It just kind of we kind of just move with each other.
Shonda, I got a personal question for you.
What?
And it might make you think about, think back, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the timeline on how I know roughly how long you've been with George, but when you met him, I'm wondering if how old were you when you met George and you started y'all's relationship? Roughly how
Like
old were you?
23, 24.
Okay, so my question was going to be, do you think that when you met George, being that as a survivor and you got out of situations prior to him where you tend to lose a lot of yourself inside of relationships in general, but definitely in abusive relationships,
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if when you got with George, because maybe your sense of self wasn't necessarily established or it was all thrown off from
Right.
dealing with the trauma and the things you went through, you didn't really have a whole lot of things that were your things that you were going to sacrifice to begin with. You were just like, okay, this is brand new. I'm out of that, so I'm going to be brand new. So it was like a fresh reset, and everything you did with him was kind of your new things, and you kind of grew together. Is that what?
Exactly. Right. Because when I met him, I finally got my own place. I
Mm-hmm.
finally had my own car. I had my own furniture, my own pots, my own everything was what I worked for. And
Mm.
I felt so good to finally have that. And in this process, I met George. I'm like, I don't know if I want anybody to in this space because I'm finally having my own. You know what I mean? But he was so good to me and he was so caring and so loving that it kind of just happened that he ended up being there and then started being there all the time. And but yeah, at first I was like, this is mine. I'm keeping it to myself. I finally have it. And I'm not sharing this with anybody. Like, because I didn't have that. For 15 years old, I was with my abuser. And he bought me everything. He bought me my car, my first couple of cars, and my own apartment and stuff. So when I was able to work for my own and have my own, it was hard um to share that with him. So our first year was horrible. Like we'll talk about that another time. But our first year was hell, hell on hell. But we worked through it. Of course, the rest is history. But yeah, Ryan, back to your question. Yeah, it was hard to even share that space with him at first because I was. It's two-part. I was ready to be on my own, but then again, I was so dependent on
Yeah.
somebody being there with me all the time and taking care of me all the time. I had to now learn how to take care of myself
Mm-hmm.
because I had someone do that. Even though he was abusing me, he took care of me. So now I had to pay my own bills and figure out how to do this and figure out how to do that. But that also helped me grow, and that also
Yeah.
helped me learn, and also helped me share my space with George too.
The hell you're talking about sounds like it was him coming in as a sturdy, solid, consistent, stable mountain, and you,
Yes,
the wrecking ball, trying to figure and break out and used to your old patterns. And it's just like, I'm not going nowhere. So it was
Yeah,
right,
hell
kind of. That's
of that.
exactly.
helpful.
And it finally was like, you could calm down because I'm not going nowhere. And then when you calm down, you realize all the
Oh,
parts were there from the get go. You just had to make it happen. So hey, thank
Yeah,
God for the two of you, because that really is, and for George, because you two getting together like that and winding your life together, intertwining your life together. That's really what it's about. When you can find someone who you can grow with like that, and
Grow
even if
with.
it was difficult at first. So that's good,
hmm
man. I just wondered how that was. Back to Cindy's original question, which is, what did you lose of your own self? You're in a unique situation, Shonda.
yeah.
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 And Ryan, what about you?
So this question, topic one, was what did you it wasn't how are you, it wasn't are you the same person, it was, is that this question? No, that right, this
Yes. Are
is,
you the same person in the relationship as you are as a single person?
yeah, that's an easy quick answer, we can move on. That for me. So yeah, I thought about this for a second and I'm like, well, how
You're
deep
so
do I want to really
stupid.
think about this answer? And I thought about it, I'm like, I think one of the things, and again, of course there's nuances, Cindy, of course there's going to be something here or there, something small, but overall when I saw this, I thought to myself, man, you know what, to be honest, I really, I really, I guess I pride myself on being consistent to who I am, also being open to feedback and perspective, but I do a lot of self-analysis. I do probably more self-analysis than someone else could do of me. I'm more critical and more judgmental, not in a negative way, but I'm always open to it. So when I get into a relationship, what I try to make sure that I do is, first of all, remain consistent with who I am and keep being who I am, because I don't want to put up a front of someone I'm not and then get into a relationship that's based on that. And then all of a sudden my real self want to show up now and it rubs them the wrong way. So I've actually always been myself from the jump. That will do a couple of things: attract someone who is naturally attracted to who you already are. And then, like I said, to be fair, I haven't been to a certain level in a relationship, like living with somebody that you all have. So I can't fully answer that question, I think, to the degree that you'd like, have to have it answered. But in all my relationships, and a lot of them, I mean, there's a lot of amazing aspects to a lot of relationships I've been in, including the current one. I think that one of the pluses, the benefits, the upside of getting close to and making things happen in the relationships I've been in is that I've been consistently me from the jump. You know what you're going to get and you know who you are. Sometimes almost to the extent of like, wow, this is a lot or whatever. But
ooh, I got to pray for my girl.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was on mute. I'm sorry.
But the reason why your girl's in the situation that she's in is because, one, that has worked tremendously with her. And two, she respects the things about me that are me so much so I don't have to change anything at all.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, not like I don't have to change for her, meaning it's
Yep.
just when someone loves you for all of who you are, even things
Yeah.
that someone in the past may have not been able to handle or sees the wrong way or takes the wrong, like, that is so liberating. And what it does, it makes
For
you
sure.
appreciate them and love them even more and be open
Yeah.
to, if there ever is anything, please tell me.
For
So
sure.
it's an interesting situation. You know what I mean? And again, I'm dating, I'm in a relationship, and it's not
Oh, look at Ryan got all the feels and stuff.
it's not to the extent that any of you all are in a relationship, and it's not anywhere near as long as previous relationships I've been in. But there is something really unique about the situation I'm in. Obviously, I've never been 43 before, but it's really interesting. And this is a side note. I kind of answered your question, Syndee, as best I can. But a side note, something I noticed just about all of us, and it started with you, Syndee, and what you were saying about you and Ben. And then I thought about Shonda and George, saw both of them this weekend at an event. And I thought about TK and what she said to a certain extent. And I don't know a lot in depth about you all's marriage and your partnerships, but what I heard was a parallel and something that you, all three of you, have, it sounds like, to a certain extent, maybe some of you more than others, with your spouses. And I say spouses, I mean your boyfriend, Syndee, but your husbands, Shonda and TK, that I now have really, I've known it was important, but it's like front of the line important and really significant in the situation I'm in, which is common interests, support for each other's drive, and actually on the same, like I was thinking about you, Syndee, you all are in a band together. Like you're bandmates, you're not just boyfriend girl, like you live together, but you also work together as well. Like that's a lot. So you think, oh, I'm surrounded this person a lot of times, but it also means you guys have so much in common naturally that you can connect on another level. Shonda, George is at the event. He's cooking. He's supporting you. He's there. He's a part of what you're doing. And TK, I'm sure that whatever you've done, if you need him to show up or go with you or whatever you got going on,
He's always there.
He's always there. And there's a partnership in that, and not just, well, I'm a doctor and she's a flight attendant and we just live together. It's like, what do you have in common? You know what I mean? And maybe people have other things in common that can make their relationship work. That's fine. But we're talking about like next level in common is what I mean.
Yeah. Ryan, we have this thing in our marriage. It's called, that we say also too in our church, equally yoked.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Farrell and I, we are alike on a lot of different levels, spiritually, mentally, physically, even down to our careers, everything.
That's evenly yoked. It's funny but just to wrap up what my point was, what I was saying was, I've come to the conclusion that based on previous relationships I've been in, studying relationships, talking to people in relationships, I think that you increase the likelihood that you will have a successful marriage or long-term relationship if you have something concretely in common with them that is a personal interest of your own.
Yeah,
I just think
100%.
that absolutely increases the likelihood when you have either a common goal as an individual, by the way, or you just have them in common to support. It's so obvious to me that that's the case, and just last thing I'll say, TK, the evenly yoked thing, the first time I heard about that term was when I was dating someone, and it's a religious term. It means
It is.
in the scriptures, it says basically if you're a Christian, you don't date someone who's not a Christian because you're not equally yoked. You know, you're a believer and they're not. And so according in God's eyes, you won't be evenly yoked. And what was funny was I was dating someone who was a devout Christian, and that was perfectly fine. And I was completely supportive of that. But then there was an upset, or there was a situation where there was a social media post or a venting or something. And then it was kind of like in an upset, made a statement about, I'm not sure what I was doing. I was in a relationship and I was dating somebody that I was unequally yoked to. And when I saw that, so much went through me, because what I thought about was, sweetheart, the only place that we are unequally yoked is the fact that you're Christian and I'm not. In every other area of life, we are unequally yoked because I have you hands down, you know,
Right.
above, you know, in
Yeah.
every single category, we are
So
unequally
weird.
yoked.
That's an interesting and intriguing deal breaker.
Yeah, for me, I'm like, dude, yes, I'm not a Christian, but I've supported you in every other area of your life that you have struggled in, financially, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, family, friendships, all those things, medically, all those. I've supported you and tried to help you get where you want to go. And you're going to play the card that we're unequally yoked in terms of the religion. And that's a deal breaker. It was very interesting to me. And again, she was younger. It was an immature statement, I think. But it was partly upsetting to me because I'm like, wait a second. Technically, yeah, the Bible says we're unequally yoked. But are you going to leave a person that is the opposite in every other cat? Like, it just didn't make sense to not look and see who she had in front of her. But hey, it all works out for a reason. But that was interesting, TK. The first time I heard unequally yoked, that was the case. And I thought,
But
hey,
you know what?
Hey, God
When I
works
met
in
George, he
mysterious
didn't go to
ways.
church.
God works in mysterious ways. It is what it is, and we are where we are right now.
I was going to say, listen, if you're around someone long enough, you're going to like what they like sometimes, or support what they like. Even if you didn't become a devout Christian, you may have gone to church sometime. Yeah. Because when I met George, he hadn't been to church one time in his life.
I did. I went with this person to church. I enjoyed it.
That's what I'm saying.
I watched sermons. I read scripture. I got interested in the word.
You can't be an atheist now. If you're gonna be an atheist, going on about your business. We're not out play with Jesus. No, none of that. No. But if you're not a church goer, if you're not like I'm not against that. George didn't go to church when I met him. And then when he started going, he absolutely loved it. He supported. When I would sing, he would be there. And now he loves, of course, he always loved the Lord, but he didn't love church. And that's different, because I'm somebody who goes to church because I'm always in the ministry. I'm always singing or something. I want someone there to support me. And I never asked him. I never made him. But he knew that was something that I did. Right. And he wanted to support me in doing so. But because he was checked off all those other boxes, I wasn't gonna leave that big old fine, sexy chocolate man. He don't go to church. We'll figure that out.
Right,
we'll work through that. Right. Yeah.
To be fair, I understood where she was coming from in that statement, because it was technically true. Right. It was technically true. She had pastors, I'm sure, in her ear. She probably had family members in her ear, and I think it really was a reason for her, an excuse for her to try to find
get out.
And to leave, or to try to figure things out, because what was happening was she wanted something more serious with me, and I wasn't ready to commit to her in a more serious way, because we were unequally yoked in all these other areas. I'm like, you need to pull your weight a little bit more as a woman before I commit even further. And so that was upsetting.
That feedback is hard to hear.
That's fine. Understood. So that was hard to hear. She handled it the way she did. I think that was more or less the rationale and the reason to leave. And so be it. But that was what my take was.
But I will tell you, it's also hard to, you obviously knew right away once that post was posted on Facebook or the social media from that person to go.
It was sometime after. It wasn't immediate. I saw the post the next day type thing. I came across it at some point somehow.
And but it's referring to you. Why would you put that on the internet?
Referring to me, right?
Right. So I brought up, and it's about you. You like sort of those things you kind of keep inside.
Yeah,
so I brought up my scenario because that's just it. Some things you will challenge in the moment. Some things you will continue to see how they evolve. And some things you decide that you have to see that what is the solution here. So the solution is, we have somebody that comes in and does our housekeeping.
There you go.
Anybody gonna laundry?
I'll share her contact information.
Yes. Ain't nobody gonna fight over laundry. No.
I wifed my Carmen's name was Martika. I wifed her up. Martika's a nickname, but yeah. That's true. True
Okay,
story.
don't you got to take care of the people who take care of you now.
Come on
So
now.
Yeah.
in that way, and I'm checking the time now, and so I want to make sure that we're respectful for if we have time for either all of our, and we can all decide right now. Do we all want to do our corners, or do we want to do our next topic?
I'm good with the next topic.
Okay,
Keep it
Anybody
votes.
have,
going.
All
you got
You're
a
right,
the
corner,
host.
Shonda?
You follow it.
great. And
You know I'm
I
gonna
want
start
to
yawning in about 10
acknowledge what
minutes.
Katrina said. Katrina Massman. She said, I think for me, being in a relationship for 21 plus years now with Ryan, her Ryan,
Not
Ryan
me, by the
Massman,
way. Yeah, yeah.
I've had moments go back and forth. There have been times that I never forget myself, but then there are times that I catch myself changing and lose myself. But I always find myself again, and he is always there to support me. And so that is sort of that ebb and flow, right? Because things happen. You spend a lot of time together, or you're going through a rough patch in either person's life, trying to figure out and navigate and still be a unit. Those things will occur, and I just wanted to learn how we're all dealing with it individually. And again, TK, I agree with you. We get a housekeeper. We're not.
Listen, that was the happy medium for the both of
Yeah,
us.
and that can solve it. It's
It
like,
did.
okay, well, a housekeeper's $250 extra dollars a week or every 2 weeks,
Yeah.
right? How
I
many?
pay her. I actually pay her. It depends on when you need her. I pay her 150 for. She comes monthly, but
Right.
she
So
does
What she
weekly.
whatever.
does and so on. But the point is having
Yeah.
someone pick up that burden frees
Yeah.
you
Right.
all up, frees up the obligation.
And
You
how
can
many hours of work do I need to do? Whatever
right,
kind of work that will generate that money to pay this,
Yeah.
to pay to solve this problem
right.
works.
That
Yep.
was our happy
It's
medium.
worth it.
Yeah.
Worth it.
And also even things like if he getting up eating peanut butter jelly sandwiches in the middle of the night, I guess I'm getting up eating peanut butter jelly sandwiches in the middle of the night too. I had to stop that because the way
Yeah.
that my blood sugar works,
My blood
That's that
sugar works.
happy love weight, honey. We
Yeah,
need
the
ice
That's
cream
that happy
cones.
weight, baby.
the
It's
way that
that
my blood
happy
sugar
weight.
works, my A1C, my doctor was like, so your
How
A1C is a
many
little high.
So we
peanut
bought
butter jelly
sugar-free ice
sandwiches did you
cream
have
instead of
last
that.
night?
I was that Oatly ice cream in the middle of the night with chocolate chip cookies. I should probably stop that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get
Listen,
back
we
on my
bought
regimen.
sugar-free ice cream and sugar-free cones.
There you go.
Yes.
There you
You got
go.
to have a compromise. You got to have that
Gotta
Yes,
conversation. Like,
compromise.
That
I
shit
want to
still got
enjoy this with
calories.
you, but can we
that's all
offset
right.
this with taking a walk?
Yeah.
Can we offset this with some like behavior that will sort of
You got it.
allow us to have a full fulfilling life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, and we
Sin,
go to the gym every morning at 5 a.m. So we
that's
got
right.
balance.
Yes. Yes,
Sin,
I love it.
one of the
Yeah.
hardest things for our relationship and our marriage, like I said, he was single for so long and I was single for so long. You talk about two independent people that was already established. So
Right.
it was hard for me to, and we now make this a effort to make sure we think about each other. Now when you live with someone, you have to share that space with that individual. So Pharaoh was used to, and trust me, I'll get all the women on my side right now, and that's my biggest pet peeve. When we first started dating or when I first moved in, he would go pick up something to eat and you didn't even call me to see if I wanted something.
Hey,
Like,
yo.
listen,
No.
he's just so
Where
used
they
to
do that at?
listen, where they do that at? And so he was just so used to taking care of
Girl.
himself and moving. And I'm like, dude, you don't know what it's like to share your space with somebody. And here it is. Even when I go shopping, I'm always even thinking about him. And then so now he's gotten used to, but you talk about a man who has never been married before. And so he had to learn how to share his space. You have someone else that you have to think about. I
Totally.
Yeah.
literally, we had to have those conversations. And so
Totally.
now it's so sweet when I see he put forth the effort. He's like, babe, I'm picking up something. I just want to make sure that would you, and I was like,
Yes. Get me
girl,
with the Pollo
Ugh.
Tropical with the yuca fries and don't be late. Make sure
and
it's
that's what
hot
I'm
when you get
saying.
home.
Hey,
But
well,
but we both had to learn because then I was so independent. I was one of those, I'm so independent, I didn't need a man. So I
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
had to let go
Have to
of
soften.
exactly. So we both change, and that's what you do for love. You sacrifice
Mhm.
and you compromise.
here's the other
Yeah.
thing,
And
real quick, Cindy. I just wanted to jump in and say one thing that I was thinking about while listening to you all talk. For those of you who listen out there, here's also maybe a suggestion as well, and it's kind of twofold. When you are in a relationship, one of the things that you should make an effort to do, first of all, be yourself, and then as yourself. But then when it comes to your partner, one of the things you should make an effort to do, assuming that your partner is being themselves, doing what they enjoy and expressing what they like, is pay attention to what they like to do and who they are and what they enjoy, and support and encourage them and remind them to do what they like. Because
Right.
if they're as caring as you, they'll be concerned about you and forget about them. And so you're going to score points and show and prove that you love someone. You say, hey, when's the last time you went and did that? I know you like to do that. Or, hey, I got this for you so that you could do this. I know you like this. Or those things are like, oh shit, I forgot about me. And my partner reminded me about me. Wow, that shows that he loves me or she loves me. And I remembered what I like that I can stay in tune with. So just a word of advice on what you can do and how you can kind of give to a relationship. And I quote something that Tony Robbins says, relationships are for most people, I've probably said this before, a place that people try to go to get, take, but relationships are a place to go to give. You got to find someone who's going to give as much as you are. And if you're both pouring in and giving, and that's an example right there. I think that's important to think about, because you won't lose yourself if your partner's reminding you of who you are because they paid attention, and you also start trusting your partner more because they're thinking about you. It can't be lopsided though, Syndee, like you're talking about. If it's lopsided and you're the only one thinking about them and they're not doing the same thing, you're like, oh, thanks. And they're taking. Then you gotta be intelligent, pay attention.
Yeah, you have to be. And there's one thing about being of service, but also having
Boundaries,
the balance and creating space to be served as well.
Yes. I think I talked about that prior, right? If someone wants to give you a gift, don't be like, no. Like, don't deny them the opportunity to give you a gift.
Yeah. And sometimes as an independent person, like TK and I can definitely agree on this. When we're so used to taking care of ourselves, it's difficult to even show weakness.
Come on. Yep. That was me.
Show the vulnerability. To soften, because we're constantly thinking about, and the truth is, the reason why everybody's like this is because everybody got bills.
Mm-hmm.
We all have bills that we got to pay.
Yeah.
So we're always thinking about how we're going to survive.
By the way, at the end of the day, you're responsible.
Yes, our responsibilities, my responsibilities. And so when you get into this mode of like, you're thinking down the line and you're having a hard time dealing with the present moment, that my partner, for me, what he does, he's like, okay, but we still need to eat dinner. So that gives me a moment to soften. It gives me a moment to get into the present, because I'm thinking about 2 weeks ahead and 3 months from now, where that's when you feel equally yoked when that person sees something and goes, oh, she's stressed. Okay. Let me figure this out, rather than like, oh, she got an attitude, I am dealing with that. Right. And becomes like, oh, you're emasculating me in some way. It's like, no, I can see that you're stressed. I think there's something going on with you. Allow me to help you with that, because that's one of his strengths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I comment on Katrina's comment, or respond to Katrina's comment?
Which one? A girl be hungry?
No, because I don't be hungry.
Exactly. Girl be hungry. Don't you? He never did that again after I had to correct that. Lord.
and I know, like, you felt like you made him feel it.
I wouldn't dare pick up something.
That is TK. She had a whole dissertation for him.
Yes, I called the come to Jesus meeting.
She sat him down and gave to him real nice and sweet with the attitude. I could hear her now.
I wouldn't do you like you just did me.
Right.
You already
feel so bad.
20 years.
You know.
When I go to the store, I think about you and you only. How could you, baby? Listen, I know I just think
consideration wasn't
and
there.
You know, I had to cry. It got that. You know, I'm so dramatic. I had to cry over you not.
You gotta lay in your point.
That man traumatized. He can't eat without calling you. I'm about to eat something. Are you hungry?
He probably
don't bring him no pollo tropical.
I'm in Texas. I know you're in Miami, but I'm about to eat. You want some?
Call her, so she want a juicy juice.
Not a juicy juice. Not about
okay, listen. I wanted to comment because for our podcast listeners, the comment is, I think for me, being in a relationship for 21 plus years now with Ryan, I've had moments go back and forth.
Yeah, I know.
There were times that I never forgot. Huh?
Yeah, she's just reading it again. This is Katrina not talking about me, talking about her husband. She's going to comment on this, but she's just
she's going to read it again. Okay.
There were times I never forgot myself, but because people who are listening and can't see this, man, I know what I'm talking about. There were times I never forgot myself, but there's times when I catch myself changing and losing myself. But I always find myself again. He's always disappointed. So anyway, so she rushing me through it. What I was trying to say, Katrina, yes, you are going to lose yourself. What that man say on Taken? You are about to be taken. So yes, you are. And now that you just had a baby, and if you have more, you're gonna lose yourself even more. So I say that to say,
You
find
go,
something that you like to do and find that time for you to do it. If it's one day a week, whether it's getting your hair done, nails done, something that's for you. Find something you like to do, a hobby or something. Because if not, I wish somebody would have told me.
Yes. Yes.
It would have caused me or would have helped me not have so much stress and not to pop off or not to snap at the break at when I got to my breaking point in raising 5 children at one time and being a wife and still get up and going to work and still trying to do other things and still having mommy I need this and mommy I need this and mommy I need this all at one time. If I would have had somebody tell me, okay, this is your day. Today is your day. Take your time and do whatever you want to do for you. Now I can say George has always been supportive, and he would always take the kids to the park. He was like, come on, let's give mommy some time. Let's go to the park. He would take them to the park for a couple of hours and they'll give me time to breathe. So as long as you all are working together, as long as you all are working together and making sure you communicate that to him, don't think that Ryan is my reader. Let him know what you're feeling. Let him know how you feel. I remember sitting down to the computer one day and just crying. And George's like, what's wrong? I said, I'm just so overwhelmed. Well, he says, what do you need me to do? You have to communicate that our spouses, our significant others are not mind readers. You have to say what it is going on. And don't expect them to
Absolutely.
just know. Because I work with attitude. He
Absolutely.
should know that I'm upset. He should know that I'm stressed. He don't that man don't know what's wrong with me. He don't know what's wrong with me. And if I don't tell him what's wrong, he's never going to know.
Yeah.
He can assume, but then I'm gonna get mad when he don't get it right. So I will
Right.
tell him what is wrong with me because I don't want him to fix it all the time. I just want him to know, maybe to comfort me. So say how you feel, Katrina. Congratulations on your new baby. And if you have more, it's gonna get even more. No,
A
she's one.
second?
No. She's
Oh,
one. I'm
I
just
say
saying. I'm
it's
just
only been
saying
two
if she
years.
does have more, everyone doesn't know she has a new baby. That's what I mean. So if you have more, it may get even a little more hectic, and that's fine. It's life. Just make sure you find something for Katrina that Katrina likes to do.
Absolutely. And that leads me to my second topic.
real quick, can I just chime in on
Yes,
that?
Ryan.
I didn't mean to cut you off, Sean. I was gonna like
You didn't. I was done.
I was gonna piggyback on that a little bit because and I just offer a perspective. It sounds like what you're saying is in the process of losing your old self and gaining a new self, find something that you enjoy during that process, or you will feel out of place and in this no man's land, no woman's land. That's where you need. But I just want to offer a perspective. When you feel like you're quote losing yourself, keep in mind that the other way to look at that is you're losing your old self, you're learning and you're finding a new self. Now, that's uncertain and that's scary sometimes, but
Mm-hmm.
it is a new self. You will be someone new if someone else that you used to be dies. You have to do that to grow. And in the process, do what Shonda said, which is find something you enjoy during that transition, that burning off the old bark to the tree so the new tree can grow. But it's not about just losing, it's about losing and gaining. Everything is a sacrifice. Yes, you gave that up, but focus on also what you're getting. I just want to throw that perspective in there.
Absolutely. And that leads me to my next topic. Are you
Yeah.
enjoying your life? What have you done for you lately? Sorry, I put
What
the one
have
with a
you done
typo in
for
it.
me lately?
But the one with the typo after all that.
Ooh, yeah.
Oops. So we talk
What
about
have you done for you lately? Oh,
squeak
And
squeak.
Janet is on the
Ooh,
podcast,
yeah.
and we
Get
got
with it.
Janet. Okay,
that ain't Janet. That's Jonet.
Oh,
who is it?
John it.
Oh,
That's
it's
no
Janet.
knit.
Oh, my bad.
Dang, y'all better put some respect on my friend name.
I
Y'all
Oh,
know I
know.
do the whole choreography for the
okay.
video.
Oh gosh. Okay, we got to, y'all can't see this on listening to the podcast. TK is fully doing what have you done for me lately choreography from 1986.
Get a friend.
It's in there. It's
Oh,
in a long-term memory.
oh.
Yeah.
So when TK is in her 60s and her 70s, she gonna still be doing pop locking.
She
Ooh
is.
yeah. Get with it. So
See, man, I forgot the
what have
question
you done
already.
for
All this dancing, I
yourself
didn't forgot the question.
lately? Are you enjoying your life with people with families and children and a spouse and jobs and multiple careers and entrepreneurship, leading at your church or with all the activity? Are you enjoying your life, TK?
Yes. I've had this saying, and I tell my family this, I tell Pharaoh this, and I tell my kids this. I can't, first of all, it's not my job to make them happy, but I can't give them my all if I'm not whole. I have
Right.
to take care of me first in
Hmm.
order for me to take care of them. So if I'm unhappy, they're going to feel it.
Totally.
So I have learned, I'm really big right now on self care and just making
And
sure,
boundaries.
yeah, setting boundaries is my new thing for this year, self care and setting boundaries, because I think I have always had more care for other people, Syndee, than myself. And I got to the point that I started neglecting my happiness and my joy. And then when you do that, you then have resentment. It builds up over time. And then the people around me are going to feel it. So
Right.
I've learned now to take care of myself. I make sure that I have work life balance mastered. And what I mean by that, I work just like Pharaoh works, but I also too have my girl time. He has his guy time. And then him and I have a routine that when it's date night. So we have learned to have a balance of everything. I'm not taking away from him being with his guys. He's not taking. I just went to breakfast with Shonda yesterday morning. I make sure I make time for my friends and my girls, on top of being a wife and a mother. So I have to be happy and do the things that I love to do, because when I'm happy, they're happy.
Right. Yeah. And so you take your times, you take breaks, you have your girl time. Um, that helps. It
Yes.
definitely helps. Shonda, what do you do? What have you done for you lately?
I've had some good days. I've had some hills to
Come on
climb.
now.
I've had some weary day. Okay, listen. So,
But I want to go.
so okay, y'all know I'll take y'all to
Okay.
church. Okay, okay. Um, what's the question?
Oh
You,
boy.
I
After
forget.
all of that, what have you done for you lately? Are you enjoying your
I'm
life?
enjoying my life. I can honestly say that I am enjoying this part of my life because my children are grown. Now, it's not that they don't need us, because I want my babies to always need me. So, and there are things I don't want them to need me for, but that's another story. But I am enjoying that their independence is causing my husband and I to, like, Lord, let me see what I'm
enjoy
trying to
each
say.
other.
Rebond,
I'm gonna be nasty, but yes, be
rebond,
to have
reconstitute.
more time and reconnect and be together more without having to worry about taking this one here and taking this one here, picking this one up here. Because back to what we said earlier, I'm not that 23-year-old anymore. Neither is he that 25-year-old anymore. I'm 46 and he'll be 40. He's 48 this year. I mean 49, he'll be 49 this year. So we're not the same people anymore. So we have to rediscover who we are and find out what we like at this age as opposed to what we liked at that age, or what we don't like anymore. What makes us happy now that didn't make us happy then, and vice versa. And we're learning that, and it's really fun. Like, we have a really good time together, and that's the best part of our life right now, is that I'm absolutely and unapologetically in love with that man all over again. And I tell him how sexual chocolate he is every day. He probably tired of me telling him how fine he is, but I absolutely am crazy about him. And I told him, I think the older we get, the more in love with him I am, and with us, with our marriage, because we genuinely like each other. You gotta like each other first. If
Mm.
you don't like each other, nothing else gonna go any further. You
As
know what I
simple
mean?
as that is,
It's
so many
simple.
people do not understand how
You have
much,
to
like,
like
how
each other.
important that is. It's
Yeah, but they're
crazy.
getting bad marketing, Ryan. They're getting
Bad
bad
marketing.
marketing.
Bad
Yeah.
marketing.
Yeah,
100%.
and that's the thing. They're seeing these relationships where you're being
Social
mistreated and
media.
disrespected and fighting.
Mm.
That's not love. That's not
Social
love.
media.
But again, that's a whole other topic, child. But that's not love. But to answer your question, yes, I am enjoying life. I'm enjoying vacationing with my husband. I'm enjoying doing things with him. I'm enjoying telling my kids 1, 2, 3, bye, we gone. I love it. You know what I mean? Because we used to, our life was 5 kids, was football, basketball, cheer, whatever. You know what I mean? And it was like years of that, and church, and on top of that, so our kids kept us busy, and now it's like, ooh, It's Friday night. What we doing? You know what I mean? So I'm really enjoying that. I'm really enjoying that.
Yeah,
Speaking
that's
of
fabulous.
speaking of your kids, I was hoping to see Elijah this weekend. Shauna, I didn't see any. He was
She's in
out
He's
of
in
town.
Texas.
Texas.
Oh, he's on
And
a
he
whole
even
new
felt
journey.
bad. He was like, Mom, it's the first one I missed. I said, I know, baby, but it's okay.
He's on a whole new journey.
Yeah.
And Talk Miami family, please hit us up in the chat. What you guys are doing for yourselves? Are you enjoying your lives? And it's okay to be honest. Ryan?
Yeah, I'll try to be brief, but it's interesting. The question is about you as an individual. Are you enjoying your life and what are you doing, for yourself? And it's such an important question. But as I think about it, I think about my life. I think about me. And the answer to the question is yes, I'm absolutely enjoying it, but like from a different angle. And listening to you talk at the end there, Shonda, was interesting because it kind of is where I was going. Obviously I've studied personal leadership coach is what I actually really specialize in coaching because I think it's important for the person to prioritize themselves, their responsibilities, their life, and so on. And like
Mhm.
that's just an extension of really my philosophy and the way I've lived and what I've studied and how to do that for 20 years now. So I haven't really ever had a problem or an issue making sure I'm at least taking care of myself. Because if I'm going to get in a relationship, which I want to be in one, I got to make sure I can show up and I can have something to bring to the table. So I've always focused on that. So what's interesting is I've done that for so long and kind of mastered taking care of myself. What you start to notice is now what you want someone to share that with. And so for
Right.
me, the taking care of myself part is fine, but now enjoying life, I want to do that with someone else. And obviously not just with anybody. You can travel and do random shit with anybody, but I want to do it with someone that like you guys are describing, someone that actually you have things in common and so on and so forth. So like I'm at an interesting point in my life right now where I have the opportunity with the person that I'm actually seeing right now to fulfill that which has not been there, on a seriously committed level. And that is really what I'm enjoying because I'm good. Like I'm 43. I've figured out how to take care of myself. It's gonna be there. You know what I
You do
mean?
your own laundry.
I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, yo, I
Call
want someone
Elsa.
special that to share that with and to do things that actually I would really enjoy with someone else. And it's been that way for some years now. I know that's what I wanted to do. And hopefully that will translate to have a family together and enjoy that because you can't really do that by yourself. I mean, you can, but so it's interesting. The answer to that question for me is not so much about what I'm doing for myself to enjoy life. It's that I'm enjoying life more now as an individual because I'm able to share things and time with someone. And it's crazy because the same person I'm enjoying that with now initially had to get over my own barriers and reservations and old hangups from previous situations over the past 5-10 years, maybe, where there was just barriers and maybe issues where I might self-sabotage and prevent that from happening
Mm,
because I was concerned this person wasn't the right one or so on and so
mm.
forth. And I really did a lot of work in the beginning here, over the last year or so to try and make sure that that's not going to happen with this person. And is this person even worth taking the next step to? Are they going to get all of me? So, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. And I think that can go for anybody else. But I think to back up, everybody should focus on being able to do them, and not in a selfish way, in a healthy selfishness way. So find out
Yeah.
what things are that y'all were talking about. That wasn't as brief as I wanted it to be. Sorry about
That wasn't brief, but it's you. So
Don't do him like that.
I am for myself and Talk Miami at the moment. Katrina says, if I'm being honest,
Sorry, let me
not
go
a
back.
whole lot unless learning to cook healthy, balanced food counts. I cook all of Jordan's meals since he started solids. Yeah. And that's really being honest. For myself too, there are elements too. Although everything looks really great right now, I am stressed. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of work that is coming. And the truth is when you do all this work, you're not sure how and when the reward is coming. You're just constantly putting in work and working toward a goal. And yes, it will happen. I'm completely changing my life.
that. Faith got to get you through that stress, though.
Yeah, the faith does, but that feeling,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
you
there.
know, that
Right.
feeling is there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it robs me of my joy at times.
Can I ask you a question, Cindy, real quick?
Yeah.
You and Ben both are. I I know you're busy, extremely busy, and you're in and out of town a couple of times a week. I don't know if he's as busy.
He is.
How do you all reconnect? Being
They traveling
you
together. They out of
you
town
two have
together.
Well, no, sometimes they don't, right? Cindy, don't you have some
How
Yeah.
times
often
that
do you
you're
She
have
was with
doing your
Disney.
own gigs?
Yeah.
I think I was home 8 weeks out of last year.
daily?
Wow.
Yeah.
I
How
She
many
was
was
weeks are you
almost
traveling
missing?
with
on
Disney.
for 5 months out of the year, plus all of Butterfly Black's stuff, plus anything outside of the tour I was doing. I was away from
Hmm.
home and I was working out of town. So yeah, I think a accumulation of 8 weeks. There was like a good, I would say 6 to 8 week period where we were together all the time.
Hmm.
And that was working. So it wasn't quite like we got to
Right.
really spend time together because we were hustling.
Mm,
So that's also a part of like the balance and the ebb and flow that we have to go, okay,
Mhm.
are we pouring enough into the personal life? And so, we do fine as partners professionally.
Right.
Are we pouring into each other? Are we seeing that we are still a good personal couple?
yeah, because you can get
You know,
distracted real quick by all the things going on. They'll keep it together. That'll be the glue.
right,
What about when
right,
everything calms
Right.
down? Do we still have
right,
something there that really we can stand on?
exactly.
Yeah.
And so once everything calms down, like the first quarter of the year, it is a bit slower and we're home. Are we going to, after now that we've had full life after COVID, what our lives really are like, he's just as busy as I am, if not a little busier. It's like
Hmm.
what his schedule like is like is really crazy. So how can we be considerate and caring about each other while we're still trying to take care of all the other things that are going on, all these
Yeah.
spinning plates in the atmosphere? And um, I have found that, like, although a lot of great things are going on and happening, great as in like on a level of greatness, you can be fatigued and you can feel tired and you feel a little stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're not going on a vacation.
Mhm.
We're not taking time away to unplug and say,
Right.
if
I was
we do
asking,
travel, we're
when do
Yeah,
working.
y'all do that?
to
Right. You're
Shonda's
traveling and
question.
working. So when do
To her,
you all say, okay, do you sync your calendars? Do you say, okay, well, you know what? We're not going to book anything the first week of May. The first week of May and the last week or whatever is our time no matter what.
So it's difficult to do that when you
yeah,
are in
unexpected
this
stuff comes up.
world
Yeah,
Yeah.
because offers come in
Mhm.
and gigs come in and they're like,
crazy
"Oh,
gotta do.
we're booking for this festival
Yeah.
or we're booking these sets of concert dates. Can you fit in on this?" And we're like, "Yes,"
So
because the date is blank.
do you have a ritual that when you do get back from not being with him to get back, like to Shonda's question, to get back in sync? Do you have something that you all like, I'll be back in town, and within those 48 hours, you're gonna go do something together or it'll happen to kind of reconnect? Or do you have that even little small thing that I mean, not
Yeah, of
not
course,
intimate things, I mean, like just
y-
ritual to reconnect that after not being
for sure, because we're still us, we're still home people. We'll cook, we'll go out to eat, we'll share about what is going on in our lives, and we are definitely um open to caring about the other person's life too. So that is really good. It's just as I'm in my own life, my own stress, it's a lot.
yeah. It sounds like even though you're in
I'm
touch probably
sure it
while you're out
is.
of town, it's to be back in person, have that in person intellectual connection that'll rekindle and
Oh
reignite and
yeah, and it
reconnect.
does.
Yeah.
It does. It gives me gas to keep
Honey, I'm
going.
praying y'all strength because I left for 2 weeks and I about died. I was like, oh, child, let me get on to my man. I don't know how you do it. So, more power to you.
Yeah, and sort of like you have to go into like a compartmentalizing of
Yeah.
what is important priority. Like my feelings have to kind of go over here so I can
Mm-hmm.
get the job done.
And try
Right.
to
And
bring them along and during the process and let them know what your compartments are and where you are in your compartment at the moment. Somehow they gotta
yeah, and
something.
I'm pretty good at that. I think there's growth on both sides for
There's
distinct, like
styles too,
making a
different styles
distinction of like
to do
where
that.
what and where and when and how that happens.
Yeah, you might have a different style and a way to do that in a different way than he does. You're doing the same thing but different styles of doing it.
Exactly. So when like you create space for something to happen, you're like, okay, well,
Mhm.
this is really interesting to learn. So like, there are levels to this. So friends who are in a relatively new relationship, I'm your girl. I'm your poster child. For folks who are in a brand new relationship, poster child.
And then marriage.
And marriage, but marriage like to another person, a completely different life and a family and rebuilding. That's your person right there. And then
I'm
your
5 years. She has 20.
yeah, mascot for 20-year marriages. That's your girl right there.
There
So we're
it
all
is.
in different phases in our lives, and it's always nice to learn how we each other is navigating, and we learn a lot from each other. And I really appreciate you guys sharing. And Katrina, thank you so much for being honest and being vulnerable, because yes, this is the first year of parenthood, and I can't imagine. I know these lovely ladies know what that's like. And we just
I'm
pray
praying
that
for you, girl.
yeah, we're praying for you, and try to find those things that make you happy, whether it's going to get your nails done or getting a massage, just taking an hour and saying, I gotta go.
Or tuning in on Monday night and listening to us talk.
And or tuning in on Monday night with Talk
like
Miami.
you do every Monday.
I think
you are
for
faithful.
Syndee
Appreciate
and Ryan, I would like us to talk about. I know we talked about it before, but I think because Ryan has got him a new boo, and
You're
Syndee
talking about
is
me this
getting
time.
more
You're not talking
serious.
about. You're not talking about
Ryan David.
No, I'm
Yes.
talking about Ryan
David.
David, the Ryan David.
What's funny is,
think-
Shonda, I was about to say I started as a single representative when it's
I
so
know.
crazy. I used to represent. Speak
And
for
you
the
have
single
you one foot in the door and one foot out for shacking up.
Maybe we inspired you, Ryan. Maybe we inspired you.
Whatever it takes, man. She was long overdue. Nah, I think
And
the
then
universe,
Syndee
works,
is
the
now-
universe works in crazy ways.
You know, with Ben, and I think we should talk about love languages.
Totally unexpected.
We did that.
I said that about on top. Now that Ryan's in
a new
a
chapter.
relationship,
Redo it.
I think we should redo it.
You want to host
Yes.
next week? You can do it next week. You can host next week. You want to do it
That's
next week?
You, Ryan. Actually.
I know. You want to take my spot?
No. Yes, I'll do it so I can interview you.
See, with Shonda, she's like me. It's got to be a no first, and then it'll be a yes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. I'll switch with you.
I remember I was with this guy. He was like, "Do you like boats?" And I was like, "No." Why?
I want to
You got
know.
a boat?
Yeah, who all gonna be there? Okay.
I say no
all
first
gonna be
all
there.
the time. I'm like,
I
no.
don't know if it's
but what?
Caribbean, but I just know. But why?
I need to
Yeah.
know who all gonna be there.
Okay. Now I'm doing not know, and so I can get some more information. Oh, thank y'all so
I
much.
got Ryan.
Let me get to our closing remarks. Thank you all so much for checking out another episode of Talk Miami, where we're here every Monday night, except for when Syndee is on tour. I can jump in when I can. You can always follow us on Facebook. Catch the recast on Facebook. Catch our clips on Instagram and our tweets on Twitter. You can always subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can catch up on all of our episodes. And if you are going to be checking us out on your podcast streaming channels, check us out on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in Talk Miami Talk Show. We show right up. We have consistently kept 20 people in our conversation throughout the night. It seems that you guys really love conversations about relationships and love and navigating through that. And we'd love to hear your feedback. Please comment, send us DMs, send us an email. Let us know what you like to hear so we can get some more. I think on the next time that I host, I'd like to have a friend talk about our health too. I've been working with an incredible health coach, Syndee Morton. I know her name is Sydney, not to be confused with Syndee. We get it all the time.
I used to call you Sydney all the time. That is so crazy.
I know you're not the only one, and you probably won't be the last, but it's coming. The days are coming. They're going to say my name right.
We haven't talked lately, Syndee, but I won't let you know. For consistently 6 weeks, I have been working out every Monday through Friday at 5 a.m. in the morning.
So proud
I
of
kind of
you.
missed a day or two here and there, but for about 6 weeks now, I've been working out 5 a.m. in the morning. And the second week, George started with me, so he's been working out with me now. So Monday through Friday, we're at the gym 5 o'clock in the morning.
Amazing.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
And you have
I
to
feel good, and I look good.
great.
Honey.
There you go.
Great. Shonda, I'm proud of you.
So I'm excited.
I'm proud of you. Keep drinking your water, y'all. Stay hydrated.
I'm drinking wine tonight, but okay.
Okay, enjoy that. Enjoy that.
Great show, Syndee. Great show. Really good stuff.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night. Peace.
All right, ladies.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Wanna live with you. I just wanna love you.
Oh,
I just
tell
really
her, go
love
to sleep.
Shonda's made up backdrop in that outro.
Yes, you see it.
With
I
that
didn't
grand
pay attention.
piano.
I gotta go back and look at it
With
again.
the
We
grand
need, to,
piano.
we need to all take a new outro because Ryan had that half a beard.
Get that
Oh
shit
yeah, I
out of here.
remember now.
Yeah, that was a
That shit
choice.
was wild.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.